Okay, we're going to dissect the vertex form just a little bit more with quadratic equations. So on problem number 1, we're taking a look at the graph, and you need to understand that the coefficient is the number in front of the parentheses there. So if there's not a number, it's understood to be a 1. So the coefficient is 1. And this is going to be the same width as y is equal to x squared because the coefficient in front of x squared is 1 as well. Now, the vertex is right here, so that's right 4 up 1. The line of symmetry would be basically what the x value is of the vertex, which is 4. And the solutions would be none because there are no intersections on the x-axis. So this would be no solution. Number 2, our coefficient is 1, which means it's going to be the same width as y is equal to x squared. The vertex is right here, which is right 3 down 1, so that's going to be the order pair of 3, negative 1. The line of symmetry is what your x value is, which is 3. The solutions go through at when x is 2 and 4. So 2 solutions. So x equals 2, 4. Remember, this is not an ordered pair, so that's why I'm using the braces. All right, let's take a look at number 3. The coefficient, again, is 1 in front of the parenthesis, so it's the same width as your parent quadratic equation, which is y is equal to x squared. Your vertex would be left 1, down 2, so it would be the order pair of negative 1, negative 2. The line of symmetry is whatever your x value is of the order pair of your vertex, which is negative 1. And this one said how many solutions? There are 2 solutions. Thank goodness they didn't want us to identify them because they would be decimals. Now, one thing that I want you to take a look at is you notice whenever we're identifying the vertex, if you just look at the equation, you see how that's a negative 4, but the x value of your vertex is a positive 4, and then right here, plus 1, that is your y value. So let's take a look at number 2. Negative 3, that's a positive 3, and this y value is a negative 1. That stays the same. Let's take a look on number 3. That positive 1 over here is a negative 1, and then that minus 2 stays the same. So if you don't have a picture of your graph, one thing you can do is, what do you notice about the vertex in the equation? So x minus h, the sign right here to get your vertex. So if you have a negative h, it's the opposite. So you want the opposite sign. And then your k right here, that will be your k. So you're going to do opposite of what your h is. So if it's a negative, then it's going to be a positive. If it's a positive, then it's going to be a negative. And then your k is going to stay the same. If it's a plus 2, it's going to be plus 2. If it's a minus 5, it's going to be a minus 5. So now let's see if we can practice that. Even though we do have a graph to look at, let's just kind of practice this without using a graph. So the coefficient is a negative 1. So how are we going to compare that to it? Well, the only thing different is that it's flipped. And the vertex, okay, so just by looking at it, we know it's 1, 3. But remember what we said, opposite of h. So that's your 1. And then whatever this is, that stays. So it'll be 1, 3. Your line of symmetry is just going to be what your x value is of your vertex. So this is x equals 1. All right, your coefficient is going to be this number right here. So that's going to be a 2. How does it compare to y is equal to x squared? Remember I said that if the number is greater than 1, it's going to be narrower. If it's less than 1, it's going to be wider. So this one's going to be narrower, or they also say vertically stretched. Those work hand in hand. All right, so your vertex If this is a -4, it's going to be a +4, and then that plus 1 is going to stay the same. Then your line of symmetry is x equals 4. All right, number 6. Your coefficient is 1/2, so how is this going to compare to y equals x squared? It's going to be wider, or another word is horizontally stretched. Your vertex is going to be the opposite of that, so there'll be a -2, -1, which is true from your graph. The line of symmetry would be x equals -2. All right, let's go look at number 7 on the next page. Your coefficient's -1, so this is going to be flipped. Your vertex is going to be +3, -1. And then number 8, and let's just make sure that it is +3, -1. Your coefficient is 3, so this is going to be narrower. And your vertex is 2, 4. Number 9, your coefficient is 1, so this is actually going to be the same. And the vertex would be a +4, 3. And looking at it, that is a +4, 3. Number 10, coefficient's -1/2. And how is this compared? It's flipped and wider. Flipped and wider. And then the vertex is 4, 1. Number 11, the coefficient's 1/3. How does this compare? And this one's going to be wider. And the vertex will be -3, -2, which is right there. Let's take a look on 12 through 16. So these do not have a graph for us to compare it with. So the vertex would be 5, 3. Remember, it's going to be opposite of that, and then that's going to be the same. And this will go upward because of the +3. Or excuse me, because the coefficient here is a 1. And how do we compare this to y equals x squared? It's going to be the same. This one, let's see, the opposite of a -6 will be +6, and then we have a -1. And because it's 3, it's going to open upward. And that 3 is going to make it narrower. All right, and then number 14, the opposite of a +3 would be a -3, 8. And it is going to open down because of that -2 right there. And this one's going to be narrower. And I know that I've talked about if it's greater than 1, then it's going to be narrower. Well, think of this 2 being, or this -2 being a +2. Okay, it's just going to open downward. So I know you're probably thinking, wait, the -2 is less than 1. Well, think of it if it's positive or negative in that situation. All right, so number 15, we've got the vertex is the opposite of a +4, -4, -1. 1/2 is your leading coefficient. So it's going to open upward, and that's going to make it wider. And then on 16, the opposite of a -5 would be a +5, and then you have this 3 out here. So it's going to be 5, 3. Because that's a -1, it's going to open down. And as far as comparing it, it will be flipped. All right, I hope that you understood what we were talking about there. See you later.